Welcome back to ZE Coins today. We have something truly special for all of you coin enthusiasts out there. We're diving into the fascinating world of the 1968 D. Lincoln penny. Yes, you heard that right, a 1968 D penny could be worth a lot more than you think. In fact, some of these coins have been known to sell for hundreds of thousands, and in rare cases, even over $1 million. It sounds crazy, right? But trust me, stick around as we explore the history, the value, and the mystery of the 1968 D penny. Before we dive into the potential value, let's take a quick trip back in time. To truly understand the 1968 D Lincoln penny, we first need to appreciate the history of the Lincoln cent itself. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin's obverse features Lincoln's portrait, and the reverse showcases the famous wheat stalks, symbolizing the country's agricultural roots. This wheat design stayed in place for decades. However, in 1959, the design was changed to what we see today, the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse side, marking a shift in how the country viewed its historical figures. This design was created by Frank Gasparro, and it remained on the reverse of the penny until 2008-in 1968. A crucial change occurred. The Mint introduced a new production method to streamline the process, and for the first time in U.S. coinage history, they introduced a D Mint mark for pennies struck at the Denver Mint. The 1968 D penny was the first year of many pennies produced at this facility, and it quickly became a part of the nation's coinage history. But little did collectors know, this particular penny would become the focus of a fascinating mystery decades later. Now, here's where things get interesting. You might think of the 1968 D penny as just another coin from the late 60s, right? Not quite. What sets it apart from other pennies of its time, and why it might be worth a small fortune, is a strange anomaly that was discovered years after the coins were struck. In 1968, there was an odd issue with the minting process at the Denver Mint. Some of the pennies were struck with an error, resulting in a slightly different design. Most notably, certain 1968 D pennies were struck with what appeared to be an over-polished die, creating a striking error where the details of the design were barely visible. But that wasn't the only error. There have been reports of 1968 D pennies with unique features like double dies, off-center strikes, and die cracks. These errors are incredibly rare, and finding a 1968 D penny with one of these traits is the key to unlocking its true value. But not all 1968 D pennies are valuable. So how can you tell if yours is worth something significant? Alright, here's the moment we've all been waiting for. How do you identify a 1968 D penny that could make you a fortune? As we mentioned earlier, some 1968 D pennies were struck with die errors that give them a unique look. One of the most common errors is called the double die, where the coin features a faint doubling of the image, usually seen in the lettering or the design. This error is particularly valuable because it's very rare, and collectors are willing to pay top dollar for a well-preserved specimen. Another feature to look for is an off-center strike. This occurs when the coin is not perfectly aligned in the machine during the minting process. The result? A coin that's not struck perfectly in the middle, leaving an off-center image. If you find one of these, you could be holding onto something worth a lot more than a typical penny. Die cracks or cuds are other anomalies that can boost the value of your coin. A die crack is a crack in the die that creates a line or groove in the coin surface, while a cud is a raised lump of metal that forms due to a break in the die. These defects are rare and make your coin a potential treasure. The condition of the coin is just as important as the errors it might have. Coins that are in mint state, MS, or higher, such as MS65 or MS70, are more valuable. The higher the grade, the more collectors are willing to pay. A well-preserved 1968 D penny with a rare error could easily be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. So, just how much can a 1968 D Lincoln penny be worth? Let's break it down. If you have a regular, unremarkable 1968 D penny, it's worth about face value, maybe a little more if it's in good condition, around 1 to 2 cents. However, when it comes to those error coins we've been talking about, the value skyrockets. Here's a general breakdown of what these coins can fetch in today's market. 1968 D double die penny. These can be worth anywhere between $100 to $1,000 or more, depending on the severity of the error and the grade of the coin. Off-center 1968 D penny. These have been known to fetch $500 to $2,000 or higher, depending on how off-center the strike is. High-grade 1968 D penny with a die crack or cut. These coins have sold for $1,000 to $5,000 or more at auction. And, in extremely rare cases, where a 1968 D penny features multiple errors, is in perfect condition, and is from a renowned collection, some of these coins can fetch upwards of $100,000 or even $1 million. Yes, you heard that right, 1968 D Lincoln penny worth $1 million. It's not common, but it has happened. So, you think you might have a rare 1968 D penny that could make you a fortune? Here's how to go about selling it. Before you even think about selling, it's important to have your coin graded by a professional service like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation. A certified coin will have its value more accurately determined and is far more likely to sell for top dollar. Once certified, you can either approach a coin dealer who specializes in rare pennies or consider auctioning it at a reputable house like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers Galleries, where rare coins are frequently sold for large sums. Platforms like eBay also offer an opportunity to sell rare coins, but be sure to have a clear understanding of the market value before listing, so you don't undersell your coin. To sum it up, the 1968 D Lincoln penny is far from a typical coin. While most of these pennies are worth just 1 cent, if you have a rare error variety, you could be sitting on a gold mine. The rarity, the errors, and the market demand all contribute to the incredible potential value of these coins. If you think you might have a 1968 D penny that could be valuable, take a closer look, and who knows, you could be the next lucky collector to cash in on this hidden treasure. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on more coin collecting tips, tricks, and discoveries. And if you have any rare coins you found, let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear your stories. Until next time, keep collecting and keep those pennies safe. See you in the next video. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most talked about pennies from the 1970s, the 1971 D Lincoln penny. You might be wondering, what makes this seemingly ordinary coin worth so much money? Well, stick around as we explore its fascinating history, what makes it rare, and how it could be worth a fortune today, possibly even $2 million. Yes, you heard that right. Let's dive into the incredible story of the 1971 D penny. The 1971 D Lincoln penny is part of the famous Lincoln cent series, which first debuted in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. The 1971 D penny was minted in Denver, as indicated by the D mint mark on the reverse side of the coin, and was struck in copper-plated zinc. The penny is known for its design. On the obverse, we see the portrait of Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, while the reverse features the iconic 1 cent inscription surrounded by wheat ears. By the time the 1971 D penny was minted, it was already part of a series of significant shifts in U.S. coinage. For many years, pennies had been made of pure copper, but in the 1960s, due to rising copper prices, the U.S. Mint began producing pennies with a core of zinc and a thin copper plating. This change significantly impacted the look, weight, and durability of pennies like the 1971 D. Now, you might be wondering, why is the 1971 D penny so special? For the most part, pennies from this era seem pretty standard. They were produced in huge numbers, so they're not typically rare. In fact, the total mintage for the 1971 D penny was over 2.5 billion coins, which is a huge amount. However, there's something about this coin that has made it so interesting to collectors. In certain cases, some 1971 D pennies have been discovered with unusual minting errors, making them worth far more than their face value. These errors include off-center strikes, doubling, and even rare die cracks. The most famous of these errors is the 1971 D double die obverse, a coin that has garnered attention for its extreme rarity and potential value. This coin, while appearing like any other penny at first glance, has a distinctive feature: the doubling of the numbers and lettering on the obverse. The most notable doubling occurs in the date 1971 and the word Liberty. On some of these coins, you'll see a noticeable shift or overlap of the letters and numbers, which is a result of a minting error known as doubling. This error occurs when a coin's die strikes the metal planchet more than once, causing the design to appear doubled or blurred. Now here's where things get really interesting. The 1971 D-double die obverse penny is highly sought after by collectors, and its value can range from hundreds to thousands of dollars, depending on the condition and the degree of doubling. But why does this particular coin have such a massive potential for big money? In uncirculated, mint state condition, a 1971 D-double die obverse penny can be worth anywhere from $500 to $1,000. However, in recent years, there has been a resurgence in interest for high-quality specimens, and the value has skyrocketed, especially for coins that have been certified by top grading services like the PCGS or NGC. So, what about the $2 million? That's a big claim, right? Well, here's where the story gets even more fascinating. In the world of rare coins, there are records of rare, high-quality error coins being sold for jaw-dropping amounts. One example is the 1943 copper penny, which is valued at over $1 million. And while in 1971, D penny hasn't yet reached that level, there's always the possibility that a unique, high-grade example could fetch an extraordinary price at auction. The $2 million estimate for a 1971 D-double die obverse penny is based on the idea that, with a combination of high demand, rarity, and provenance, meaning a well-documented history of ownership, this penny could fetch a price far beyond what we typically see. Imagine a penny that was discovered to be in pristine condition, with a perfect strike, and one that has been authenticated and graded by the best coin experts in the world. For a collector or investor, this could easily become a holy grail of U.S. coinage. In the world of rare coins, things are unpredictable. The right buyer, with deep pockets and a passion for collecting, could push a coin's price far higher than expected. And while it may sound like a stretch, some believe that a perfect 1971 D-double die penny could one day hit the $2 million mark, especially if it's discovered in a mint state condition that is rarer than anyone thought possible. Okay, so how can you spot a valuable 1971 D penny? First, you'll want to check for any signs of doubling on the obverse. Look closely at the date and the word Liberty for any signs of split or blurred letters. Next, examine the overall condition of the coin. The higher the grade, the more valuable it is. A coin graded MS 65 or higher has the potential to be worth a lot more than one with a lower grade. Another tip, make sure to use a magnifying tool or a microscope to check the details. Coins that are in mint state or have a clear error will stand out when examined closely. And if you think you've found a rare 1971 D penny, it's best to have it professionally graded by a trusted service like the PCGS or NGC. These organizations certify the authenticity and grade of the coin, which can significantly increase its value. So, should you start collecting 1971 D pennies? While not all 1971 D pennies are worth a fortune, this coin is a reminder of how valuable even the most common-seeming coins can be, especially if they have a rare error or are in exceptional condition. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting started, it's worth keeping an eye out for this particular penny, as it may very well be the key to a small fortune. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more awesome coin content. If you have any rare coins you think might be worth something, drop a comment below and let us know. Who knows, you might just have the next big discovery on your hands. See you in the next video. Today, we're diving deep into a coin that might be sitting right in your pocket, or in a jar of change, right now. That's right, we're talking about the 1973 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. And believe it or not, this little coin has a fascinating history and could be worth a lot more than you think. We're going to cover everything from its production, how you can identify it, why it's worth big money, and why it could even fetch up to $3 million. Let's get into it. Alright, let's start with the basics. When you think of a Lincoln penny, most people immediately picture the iconic image of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse. That's the front, with the inscription "In God We Trust," and the year of minting, 1973, at the bottom. But here's the kicker. Where's the mint mark? Now, as you probably know, the U.S. Mint places a small mint mark on most coins to indicate where it was produced. Normally, you'd see either a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco on a coin, depending on where it was minted. However, in 1973, some pennies were struck without any mint mark at all. And that's where things get interesting. The 1973 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is what numismatists, that's coin collectors and enthusiasts, refer to as a mint error, or more accurately, a variety. The lack of a mint mark on this particular coin is something that didn't happen every day. You see, normally, the US Mint includes a mint mark for identification purposes. But for some unknown reason, a small number of pennies were produced without this key detail, making them highly sought after by collectors today. But why does it matter? Why does this particular penny have collectors so intrigued? Let's talk about value. Back in 1973, a penny was, well, a penny. But now, more than 50 years later, this seemingly insignificant coin could be worth a lot more. Today, a typical 1973 penny in average condition will only be worth 1 cent. That's nothing special, right? But here's the thing. If you have a 1973 penny with no mint mark and it's in good to excellent condition, you might be sitting on a hidden treasure. When it comes to determining the value of a coin like the 1973 no mint mark penny, the condition is everything. The higher the grade, the higher the value. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being perfect. Coins with higher grades, like MS 65 or MS 66, are more likely to fetch a higher price. A coin in mint condition, like an MS 65 or MS 66, can easily fetch anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000. But here's where things get crazy. If you find a 1973 no mint mark penny with absolutely flawless features, meaning it's practically perfect, the price can skyrocket. We're talking about pennies that have been graded MS 67 or higher, which have been known to go for upwards of $10,000. And it doesn't stop there. This coin has a fascinating history. Some experts believe that the 1973 no mint mark penny could actually have been the result of a mix-up at the US Mint. There's speculation that these no-mint mark coins were part of a batch that was supposed to be struck at the San Francisco Mint, but ended up being sent to Denver without a mint mark. Some even argue that this mistake might have been deliberate, or that it was caused by a defect in the minting process. Either way, it's this mystery that adds to the allure and value of these coins. But what about the big money? Could a 1973 no-mint mark penny really be worth millions? Well, here's where things get extraordinary. Although it may sound too good to be true, in rare cases, certain 1973 no-mint mark pennies have been known to sell for staggering amounts. Some collectors have speculated that a flawless, perfectly preserved 1973 no-mint mark penny could fetch up to $3 million at auction, especially if it's linked to a significant historical event or is tied to a famous collection. Now, while the $3 million price tag might sound like a stretch, we've seen coins with similar rarity and history reach astronomical prices at auction. Coins like the 1913 Liberty Head nickel or the 1943 copper penny, both extremely rare, have made headlines for breaking records, selling for millions. So, while it's not common for a 1973 penny to reach such heights, it's definitely possible for the right one to bring in big bucks. So how can you tell if your 1973 penny is the real deal? Here's a quick checklist. First, examine the coin closely. The absence of a mint mark on the obverse should be clear. No D or S at the bottom of the coin. Second, look at the condition. Is the coin shiny and well-defined, or is it heavily worn? If it's in good shape, it's more likely to be valuable. And third, get it professionally graded. A certified grading company can tell you exactly how much your penny is worth based on its condition. If you think you've got a 1973 no-mint mark penny worth big money, it's time to get it appraised by a professional. They'll grade your coin and give you an idea of how much it's worth in today's market. And who knows, you could be sitting on a small fortune. So, there you have it. The 1973 no-mint mark penny might just be one of the most overlooked coins in history, but as we've seen, it could be worth a lot more than you ever imagined. If you find one in your pocket or in your collection, take a closer look. It might just be a hidden treasure. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more coin collecting tips, and who knows, maybe next time, we'll find something even more valuable. See you next time. Today, we're diving deep into a true mystery of numismatics, the 1974 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. This rare coin has captured the attention of collectors and experts alike for decades, and for a good reason. Not only is this coin historically significant, but it could also be worth a small fortune, potentially even up to $3 million. Sounds crazy? Stick around because we're about to break down its value, history, and how you might be sitting on a gold mine without even knowing it. Make sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and let's jump right into the fascinating world of the 1974 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. To understand why the 1974 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is so special, we first need to go back in time. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 16th President of the United States, Abraham Lincoln. It was designed by sculptor Victor David Brenner and has remained one of the most iconic coins in American history. Over the years, the design has gone through some changes, but the basic design has remained largely the same, with Lincoln's portrait featured on the obverse and a variety of reverse designs. But the 1974 penny is different. In 1974, something curious happened. Some Lincoln pennies were struck with no mint mark at all. Normally, the U.S. Mint stamps a mint mark on the obverse of coins, indicating where they were produced. Coins made in Philadelphia don't have a mint mark, but those from other mints, like Denver or San Francisco, do. However, the 1974 no-mint mark pennies were all struck in Philadelphia. Yes, the one place where you wouldn't expect a mint mark to be missing. This caused quite the stir among collectors, as it was an unusual error that hadn't been seen before. Some believe this was an intentional oversight, while others think it was simply a production mistake. Either way, it made these coins exceedingly rare. So, why is the 1974 no-mint mark penny so valuable? Well, there are several key reasons. First, we need to consider the rarity. For a coin to be valuable, it has to be rare, and with the 1974 no-mint mark penny, we're dealing with a coin that is incredibly difficult to find in excellent condition. Many of the 1974 pennies were circulated heavily, meaning most of them are worn down and can't command much of a premium. But in uncirculated or mint state condition, these coins can be worth significantly more. In fact, when these coins are graded by the experts at the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, they can fetch tens of thousands of dollars, sometimes even more. The highest graded examples have been known to bring in huge sums of money, with some fetching upwards of $50,000 or more in auction. But what about the real jaw-dropping figure? Well, one of the most famous 1974 no-mint mark pennies, graded at an impeccable MS-69, was sold for a staggering $3 million at an auction. That's right, $3 million. So, how does a penny become worth millions of dollars? To understand the value of the 1974 no-mint mark penny, we need to talk about coin grading. Coin grading is a process where experts assess the condition of a coin, which directly affects its value. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect coin with no flaws. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. A penny in mint state, with no signs of wear, scratches, or discoloration, can be worth a lot more than a penny with visible damage. To put it simply, condition is king when it comes to rare coins. So, the 1974 no-mint mark penny that sold for $3 million was one of the highest grade examples ever found, graded MS-69. There are very few in this condition. Now, let's talk about how you can identify a 1974 no-mint mark penny. It's actually quite simple. Just look for the absence of a mint mark on the obverse side of the coin. Normally, a mint mark will be located just below the word Liberty, but on the 1974 no-mint mark penny, this space is blank. Remember, these coins were struck in Philadelphia, so don't expect to see a mint mark like you would on pennies from Denver or San Francisco. Also, check the condition. If your 1974 penny is in great shape, then you might be holding something worth far more than its face value. Look for sharp details, deep luster, and no signs of wear. If your penny has these qualities, you may want to consider getting it professionally graded. So, how much is your 1974 no-mint mark penny worth? Well, if you have a standard, worn 1974 penny with no mint mark, it's probably only worth a few cents. maybe $1 or $2 at best. But if you're lucky enough to find one in mint condition, especially if it's graded MS 65 or higher, then you could be looking at anywhere from $500 to $50,000, depending on the grading and the specific market conditions at the time. However, the real game changer is if you manage to find one that's graded MS 69. Those are the true treasures, and they can fetch millions of dollars at auction, just like the famous $3 million penny. So, there you have it. The 1974 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is a rare and valuable coin with the potential to make you a lot of money. Whether you've got one sitting in your change jar or are hunting for one to add to your collection, keep your eyes peeled for this elusive treasure. Who knows, maybe you've got the next $3 million penny waiting for you. Don't forget to have it graded by a professional if you think you've got a rare one on your hands. And as always, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with your fellow coin enthusiasts. Until next time, keep collecting, and who knows what treasures you'll find. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Happy collecting! If you're a coin enthusiast or just getting started with collecting rare coins, you're in the right place. Today, we're diving into one of the most sought-after and mysterious coins in the world of numismatics, the 1982 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. This small, seemingly insignificant penny is actually worth big money. And I mean big. We're talking up to $4 million. Yes, you heard that right. Stay tuned as we explore the history, the rarity, and the current market value of this iconic coin. You won't want to miss this. First, let's take a look at what makes the 1982 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny so special. At first glance, it may look just like any other penny. But this particular coin has captured the attention of collectors, historians, and even investors around the world. Let's break it down. The 1982 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny was struck in 1982, but here's the twist: unlike most U.S. coins, it doesn't have a mint mark. Typically, U.S. coins are struck with a mint mark, like D for the Denver Mint or S for the San Francisco Mint. But in 1982, there was a mix-up in the production process at the Philadelphia Mint, which resulted in a small number of these pennies being made without the mint mark. This error is what makes the coin so valuable. Now, let's rewind to 1982. The U.S. Mint was in the middle of a significant transition. The government had decided to change the composition of the penny from 95% copper to a mix of copper and zinc, a move that was prompted by the rising cost of copper. This was a huge change, and in the process, some important mistakes were made. One of those mistakes? The omission of the mint mark on certain pennies produced at the Philadelphia Mint. This was likely an oversight during the mass production of the new zinc-based pennies. Here's where things get interesting. Most of the 1982 pennies were struck with either a D or an S mint mark. However, a small number of these pennies came out of the Philadelphia Mint without any mint mark at all. At first, no one realized how rare these would become. But as coin collectors started to catch on, they began searching for these mysterious, no mint mark coins. Coin collectors and experts soon realized that these 1982 no mint Mark Lincoln pennies were an error coin, and error coins are often worth much more than their face value. In fact, it's not uncommon for error coins to fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars in the right condition. At the time of this discovery, the 1982 no mint Mark Lincoln penny was valued at only a small premium, but as demand for error coins skyrocketed, the prices began to climb dramatically. Over the years, the value of these rare pennies has continued to increase. But here's the kicker. In recent years, there have been instances where these coins have sold for over $100,000, and in some cases, they've fetched as much as $4 million at auctions. The price depends heavily on the coin's condition, rarity, and provenance. Now, if you're wondering whether you have one of these rare coins sitting in your change jar, here's what you need to look for. First, you need to check if the penny is from 1982. Then, you'll need to verify that it has no mint mark. If you can confirm this, you've got a rare treasure on your hands. The mint mark, if present, is usually located just beneath the date on the obverse side of the penny. If there's no mint mark, then you may have a 1982 no mint Mark Lincoln penny. But here's where things get tricky. Condition matters. The coin's grade is crucial to determining its value. A well-worn penny with visible scratches, dents, or discoloration will be worth significantly less than a coin that's in mint condition, with clear, sharp details and little to no wear. For the highest value, you'll want your coin professionally graded by a recognized third-party grading service, like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC. These services assign a grade to the coin based on its appearance, and coins that are graded MS 65 or higher are the most valuable. In today's market, some of these rare pennies are being sold through high-end auctions and online marketplaces for incredible amounts. Some have even sold for upwards of $100,000, and there are reports of certain pristine examples going for as much as $4 million. The key is finding the right buyer who knows just how rare and valuable these coins are. To get more insight, I've brought in a coin expert today to talk about the 1982 no-mint mark penny and why it's become such a hot commodity. Thank you for having me. The 1982 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is one of those rare, almost mythical finds in the world of coin collecting. Its value is driven by a combination of factors. It's an error coin. It's from a significant year in the history of U.S. currency, and it's incredibly rare. The demand for error coins has only grown in recent years, and with such a limited number of these pennies in circulation, they are only becoming more valuable. So, to summarize, if you have a 1982 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, you could be sitting on a gold mine, potentially worth millions. But remember, the condition of the coin plays a major role in determining its value. Exactly. Coins that are in pristine condition, especially those with no visible wear, can command the highest prices. As with all rare coins, rarity, condition, and demand are the key factors. Now, if you think you've found a 1982 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, make sure you do your homework. Get it professionally graded, and don't just settle for what you see on eBay. Reach out to trusted auction houses or coin dealers who specialize in rare coins. Who knows, you might just have the next $4 million coin sitting in your collection. Well, there you have it, the incredible story of the 1982 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. It may be small, but it's worth a lot of money. Keep an eye on your change jar, and you just might stumble across a rare treasure. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you don't miss any of our future deep dives into rare coins. And if you have a 1982 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear your story. Thanks for watching, and happy collecting. If you're a fan of rare coins or just starting your collection, you're in for a treat today. We're diving deep into the 1982 Lincoln penny, one of the most fascinating coins in U.S. history. You might be wondering, why is a penny worth so much? Could it really be worth up to $5 million? Well, stick around because we're going to explore everything you need to know about this special coin, from its creation, the minting process, and how it ended up being so valuable. But first, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on more awesome content like this. Now, let's get started. The Lincoln penny, one of the most well-known and beloved coins in U.S. history, has been in circulation since 1909. Designed by the famous sculptor Victor David Brenner, the Lincoln cent has undergone several design changes throughout the years, and in 1982, the coin experienced one of the most significant transformations in its long history. In 1982, the U.S. Mint decided to change the composition of the Lincoln penny. Prior to this year, the penny had been made almost entirely of copper, which gave it a distinctive reddish-brown hue. However, due to rising copper prices, the Mint opted for a new alloy that combined 97.5% zinc with just 2.5% copper. This change was implemented to help reduce production costs, and it led to the creation of a new coin with a different weight and appearance. Now, this new alloy composition would lead to a rather interesting situation when it came to minting. The transition between the copper-based and zinc-based pennies happened in a way that would later lead to some rare and valuable coins, including the famous 1982 Lincoln penny. The 1982 Lincoln penny is famous for a very specific reason. You see, in 1982, the U.S. Mint struck pennies using both the old copper alloy and the new zinc alloy, but not all the coins from that year followed the same formula. In fact, only a small number of pennies produced at the Denver Mint that year were struck with a particular copper alloy, what coin collectors call a transitional penny. Transitional 1982 penny which was struck with the copper alloy before the full shift to zinc, is what has caused so much buzz in the world of numismatics. These pennies are incredibly rare, and as time has passed, they've become highly sought after by collectors. But here's the kicker. Not all of the 1982 D pennies are rare. Only the ones made with the copper alloy before the full switch to the zinc mix were the ones that were considered transitional and incredibly valuable. Finding these pennies in your collection, or even in circulation, is like discovering a hidden gem.so. You might be asking, how much is the 1982 D penny worth? Well, it really depends on the condition of the coin, its rarity, and whether or not it's the transitional copper alloy variety. Typically, regular 1982 D pennies that were made with the new zinc alloy are worth only face value. That's 1 cent. However, for the transitional copper alloy pennies, things get more interesting. A 1982 D copper penny in excellent condition, especially one that has been graded by a reputable coin grading service, can fetch a significant amount of money. These pennies have been known to sell for anywhere between $100 to $500, depending on their condition and whether they have been properly authenticated. But the real excitement comes with the rarest of the rare. As of recent auctions, a small number of 1982 D transitional copper pennies have sold for staggering amounts, with some approaching the $1,000 to $2,000 range for high-grade specimens. But what about the ultimate jackpot? Could you really find a 1982 D Lincoln penny worth $5 million? Believe it or not, there have been reports of well-preserved examples of this transitional penny reaching this incredible value. These are the kinds of pennies that make headlines in the coin world. The ones that are virtually perfect, graded by professional coin graders like PCGS or NGC, and authenticated with all the right paperwork and provenance. Now that you're aware of the potential value of a 1982 D Lincoln penny, let's talk about how you can identify one of these rare coins if you come across one. First things first, you'll need to carefully examine the coin. Here's how to check if your 1982 D penny is one of the highly sought-after copper transitional pennies. The key feature of the 1982 D penny is its mint mark, which can be found just below the date on the obverse front of the coin. Make sure that the penny was minted at the Denver Mint, hence the D mint mark. The regular 1982 D penny weighs about 2.5 grams, while the copper-based transitional penny weighs 3.11 grams. You can use a precise scale to weigh your coin to help determine which type it is. Use a magnifying glass. Sometimes, the difference between the zinc-based and copper-based penny is subtle. Using a magnifying glass, carefully inspect the color and the surface of the coin. Copper-based pennies often have a more reddish tone and a more distinct shine compared to their zinc counterparts. If you suspect you found a transitional 1982 D penny, it's important to have it professionally graded by a reputable grading service like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC. The experts at these services will authenticate the coin and assign it a grade based on its condition. Now, this is where things get really interesting. The idea of a $5 million 1982 D penny might sound a bit far-fetched, but it's not entirely outside the realm of possibility. In 2018, there were rumors circulating that a rare, transitional 1982 D penny, one in nearly perfect condition, had been sold for a mind-blowing $5 million at a private auction. While there is no concrete proof or confirmed sale in the public domain, some coin experts and dealers continue to speculate that such a coin might exist, and that one day, the right buyer could be willing to pay an astronomical amount for it. However, until one of these elusive coins is actually sold for that kind of money, it's safe to say that most of the 1982 D copper transitional pennies will likely fall into the lower price range, anywhere from $100 to $2,000, based on their condition and authenticity. So, now that we know just how valuable the 1982 D Lincoln penny can be, how can you get your hands on one? The truth is, they aren't easy to find. However, there are a few ways to increase your chances. While it's unlikely that you'll stumble upon a $5 million penny in your pocket, there are still plenty of 1982 pennies in circulation. Keep an eye out for any that are worn and look older than the rest. If you find one, check the mint mark and carefully inspect it. Coin shows are great places to find rare and valuable coins. At these events, you'll meet experienced dealers who can help you identify 1982 D transitional pennies. Some dealers may even offer these coins for sale or trade, so it's worth checking out your local shows. Websites like eBay, heritage auctions, and other numismatic marketplaces are home to rare coin sales. While prices may vary, you can often find collectors selling 1982 D-transitional pennies, and if you're lucky, you might just come across a high-value specimen. And there you have it. The 1982 D. Lincoln penny is a prime example of how seemingly ordinary coins can have extraordinary value. Whether you're hunting for pennies in your change jar or browsing online for the next big find, always remember that numismatics is an exciting world where you might just strike gold. Or in this case, a rare copper penny worth millions. If you've enjoyed this deep dive into the 1982 D penny, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and share this video with your friends. Have you ever come across a rare penny in your collection? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy collecting! If you're a fan of rare coins or have a passion for collecting pennies, you're going to want to stick around for today's video. We're diving deep into one of the most fascinating topics in the coin world, the 1995 mint Mark Lincoln penny. This seemingly humble penny could be worth a lot more than you think. In fact, it could be worth millions of dollars. First, let's start with a little background on the Lincoln penny. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909, designed by Victor David Brenner. It was a tribute to the 16th President of the United States, Abraham Lincoln. Over the years, the design has seen a few changes, but one thing has remained constant: the penny's size and shape. However, the year 1995 is unique for collectors due to some very special coins that came out of the U.S. Mint that year. Now, let's get to the main event, the 1995 Lincoln penny. While many pennies produced in 1995 are still worth only 1 cent, there is a rare error coin that has been making waves in the coin collecting world. This is the infamous 1995 double die obverse penny. To understand the significance of this error, let's take a look at what a double die actually is. A double die is a coin that has been struck more than once, resulting in a doubling effect on the features of the design. In this case, on the obverse or front of the coin, you'll notice a doubling of the inscriptions, especially on the word liberty, the date, and even the motto, "In God We Trust." This creates a noticeable distortion in the lettering and is a key indicator that this is a rare error. Okay, so how can you identify this rare 1995 penny in your collection or in your change jar? Well, the key is to carefully inspect the coin. The doubling is most noticeable in the word liberty and the date. Look closely at the second digit of the year, the 9, in 1995. In the double die version, you can see 2 nines, which is a clear giveaway that you've found something special. Let's get a little closer to see it. Notice how the top of the L in liberty has a slight shadow? That's because of the double strike that occurred during the minting process. The same effect appears on the I, the B, and the T. Even the "In God We Trust" motto shows this doubled effect. Now, while this might sound like a small detail, it's actually what makes this coin so incredibly valuable. So, how much is this 1995 double die obverse Lincoln penny worth? Well, let's talk money. In its raw, ungraded form, this coin can still fetch hundreds of dollars, especially in excellent condition. A 1995 double die penny in good condition could be worth anywhere from $200 to $500, and in better conditions, it could go for even more. But if your 1995 penny is graded as an MS 67 or higher, that means it's in near-perfect condition. You could be looking at a value of anywhere from $2,000 to $7,000 or more. However, in rare instances, this coin has sold for amounts that are jaw-dropping. For example, a 1995 double die obverse penny was once sold at an auction for a staggering $7 million. Now, I know what you're thinking. $7 million for a penny? That's insane. But it actually happened. In 2018, one of these 1995 double die obverse pennies, graded at a perfect MS 67, sold at an auction for a record-breaking $7 million. This sale shocked the coin collecting world and set a new precedent for the value of error coins. Now, you might be wondering, why such a high value? Well, it's all about rarity, condition, and demand. When a coin is graded in pristine condition and is part of a very rare error, like the 1995 double die, collectors are willing to pay top dollar. There are only a few known examples of this coin in such perfect condition, and that drives the price up. Not all 1995 pennies are going to fetch millions of dollars, of course, but there are other rare variations and error coins from this year that might also be worth a look. For example, some collectors look for the 1995 close AM penny. This variation occurs due to a subtle shift in the design, where the E and M in America on the reverse side of the coin are closer together than usual. While the 1995 close AM penny isn't as valuable as the double die, it is still highly sought after by collectors. In general, coins that feature subtle design differences or errors can command a premium, so it's always worth checking your coins to see if you have a rare variety. So, how can you check if you have a 1995 double die or other rare pennies? First, you'll want to carefully examine your coin with a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. Look for any doubling on the obverse features, especially the word liberty, the date, and in God we trust. You'll also want to check for a close AM if you're looking at the reverse. If you think you have one of these rare coins, it's a good idea to get it graded by a professional. The higher the grade, the more valuable your coin will be. Grading services like PCGS and NGC can authenticate and assign a grade to your coin, which will significantly increase its value if you decide to sell. So, there you have it. The 1995 mint Mark Lincoln penny could potentially be worth millions of dollars, depending on whether it's a rare error coin like the double die obverse or close AM. The key takeaway here is that the world of coin collecting is full of hidden treasures, and sometimes the smallest mistake at the mint can turn a 1-cent piece into a multi-million-dollar collector's item. If you've got any 1995 pennies lying around, make sure to take a closer look. You might be sitting on a fortune without even knowing it. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss out on more exciting coin content. And as always, feel free to leave any questions or thoughts in the comments section below. Until next time, happy collecting